Hey, everybody. Welcome back in. It's the Madman Betting Podcast. Guys, after taking a couple weeks off, shortly after the beatdown in the Super Bowl as Seattle took care of business and completely dominated that football game, we took a little time off. We wanted to take a look at a few things as we get ready for the new 2026 football season coming up, starting with the draft, win totals, coaching changes, things like that. Before we get started today, I just want to say thank you to everybody out there. Last year, very successful, had a good year, plus up over 160 units last year. So we're thrilled about that, but we don't want to stop this train. We want to keep cashing tickets. And again, we want to do so a year after year after year, grow the podcast, grow the platform, and continue to try to cash tickets and make you guys some money. So let's get started with a couple things this morning. We're going to talk about a little bit of NFL. We're not bringing up the draft right now. We want to talk a little bit about that later. But we do want to talk about some of the things with these coaching changes, which of course will affect, decisions on win totals, etc. So we know there was a ton of coaching changes in the off season coming down to the wire after the playoff games. Of course, Pittsburgh got rid of their coach, Baltimore, so on and so forth. 10 of those coaching changes took place. A few, which I think are upgrades. For example, the Giants getting John Harbaugh, I think is a huge upgrade for the Giants. The Bills, Joe Brady, I don't know if that's an upgrade. I think that Allen probably likes Brady a little more than McDermott, so we'll see how that goes. Atlanta getting Kevin Stefanski, I think that's a good move. Stefanski's going to get the offense rolling. Defense was already playing pretty well. Cleveland, Todd Monken, I think he'll make some structure, and structure is what Cleveland needs. I don't know who's going to play quarterback at this point, but I think Todd Monken can help the Cleveland Browns. Pittsburgh, of course, has got McCarthy. I'm torn. I think McCarthy can help him in some ways. I think if he'll go get a offensive and defensive coordinator, keep his nose out of the two and just be a head coach, I think that Pittsburgh can do big things. However, if he does not, and he's already said he's going to be calling plays, if he's calling the plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that gives me concern. However, we'll see how it plays out. There's been times when McCarthy's done pretty well. There's other times when McCarthy has not. So we'll kind of see how that goes going forward. Hello, everybody. Welcome back in. It's the Madman Betting Podcast. Guys, welcome back after a few weeks off. Fresh off that beatdown of the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, a no-show from the Patriots. And, man, I'm going to tell you right now, Seattle, top to bottom, offense, defense, showed out, took care of business. Sam Darnold, as we predicted, did not do Sam Darnold things, so that helped keep them in the situation they are in. Defense took care of business, mauled, and I mean mauled, Drake May and that offense, and they really just did not look good. So, guys, fresh off that Super Bowl, Seattle has took care of business, as we've all watched and witnessed. That season is officially closed, and here we go, starting the season for 2026. And we've looked at a couple of these things. We've tried to pay attention to some of the coaching changes, looking at some win totals. Going to talk about a little bit of NFL. Try to get an early start on some of this stuff. I have got some sleepers that I want to jump on now before those prices begin to rise. I also want to jump on some win totals before those numbers begin to rise, because I believe those numbers are going to go up. So we're going to jump on some of those things before we talk about the NFL draft. But guys, before we get started, I want to say thank you to everybody out there who was on board that train as we cashed tickets last year, plus 160 units on the season, maybe a shade over that. Really, really, really good season. Dog of the week didn't perform the way we normally do. A little disappointed in that. But guys, at the end of the day, it's not about one specific category. It's about how we ended up for the year. So total with college and NFL plus 160 units, I think it's a pretty good season. But we want to make that continue to grow week after week, year after year. We want to grow the podcast, grow the platform, continue to make you guys some money if we can. So we're going to keep digging deep, trying to find those games that we feel like is the right side. Try to find those win totals. Try to find everything we can find to help cash some tickets in the future as we get ready for the 2026 season. So, guys, thank you so much for getting on board that train. Thank you so much for listening. For those of you just stopping by, make sure you smash that follow button. Get over to TikTok. Get over to YouTube. Subscribe to that channel. You'll get every one of our podcasts, all of our short reels over there. Get over to X. Get over to Facebook. Guys, we're over on the podcast platform. Follow us everywhere, guys. It's the Madman Betting Podcast, and it's hard hitting, and all we want to do is make you money. So jump on board that train and let's cash tickets. That is what it's all about, guys, is cashing these tickets week by week. I know we talked about maybe doing a little bit of basketball. We backed away. We didn't feel like that was our strong suit. March Madness is coming up. I hope everyone out there enjoys it. I hope everybody out there makes a ton of money on March Madness. We, unfortunately, will not be betting March Madness. We will not be giving any games out simply because basketball is not our strong suit. And until we feel like it is, we're going to stick with football because we feel like that's the way to go for us, not for everybody out there. So if guys, you like basketball and want to bet on basketball, jump right in. I just don't want to lead you down a road of destruction because I don't know anything about some of this stuff. So let's stick to football. Let's talk a little bit about some of the coaching changes that took place. 10 in total in the NFL. So a third of the league now has new coaches. It's going to be interesting going into 2026, guys. A couple of these I think are really good moves. A couple of these I don't know that I'm really, really pleased with. I don't know how it's going to take place or take shape going into 2026. The Giants with Harbaugh, I think, is a good move. I think it's really going to help. I think he brings structure. I think he'll bring in a coaching staff that will get the Giants in an almost immediate turnaround. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. However, I do think you'll see them win more ball games than what they have the last couple of years. The Bills with Joe Brady depends on the relationship with Allen, and I believe that Joe Brady and Allen have a really good relationship. That alone will help. Depending on how he brings in or who he has running other parts of the department. So we'll see how that goes as well. Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta, I think, is a big move. I think it'll really help the Falcons. So I look forward to the Falcons probably doing some pretty big things this year. Todd Monken in Cleveland, I think, is going to help. I don't know that it'll show an immediate impact, but I do feel like it will over time. McCarthy, I'm a little bit torn with McCarthy as to whether it'll help or not, and it all depends on how he structures offensive and defensive coordinator. I think if he'll step back, let the defensive coordinator and the offensive coordinator run those respective departments, I believe it could be good. But he's already mentioned calling plays, so I'm a little torn as to whether I think he will do a good job or not. So we'll see how that plays out. Robert Saleh going to Tennessee. He had an opportunity with the Jets, and of course the Jets went off a cliff. I believe with the Tennessee Titans, I think there's more things available for him to succeed with in Tennessee. I really believe you learn from that first mistake. You come in with a different attitude. You've got a different team. You got a quarterback. I really believe he can make some changes at Tennessee and get them on the right track. So we'll see how some of these go. That's just a couple of those coaching changes that I've looked at to see whether I think it'll help or hurt those teams. A couple of these win totals, guys, let's dive into some win totals. Carolina, 6.5. That number is going to go up. And before it does, I wanted to jump on it. I really believe they have made some leaps and bounds, and I think it'll continue. I believe they'll go over the 6.5 mark on the win total. It's sitting at minus 125 right now, over. So for the Carolina Panthers, as they make some changes and get some more help for Bryce Young, take the Carolina Panthers over the 6.5 win total this year, 2026. I just believe they got some weapons that can help them get there. And I really believe that Tampa Bay will take a step back, even though they re-signed Mike Williams. I just feel like the division might flip this year, and I'll explain as you hear some of these win totals here in a minute. You'll see what I'm talking about. The Bears, the lucky Bears, last year, win after win, luck after luck, exception late, 2 touchdowns in a couple minutes to win a game. Over and over and over, we see the Bears get lucky. I don't think it'll happen 2 years in a row. Man, they just, every time you turned around, they was winning the game in the last second, coming away with a win somehow, some way. I don't think that'll happen. Their win total sits at 9.5. Minus 120. I know it's juiced to the over, but I don't like it. I believe the Bears will go under the win total. So 2026 Chicago Bear win total sitting at 9.5. Take the under 9.5 on the Chicago Bears in 2026. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys, 8.5 juiced to the over. I believe this number will go up. The Dallas Cowboys, they continue to flirt with a 9, 10, 11, 12 win season every single year, and they end up not making the playoffs, or they end up doing something down the road to cost themselves. I think this year will be different. I really believe that the Dallas Cowboys may be the team to beat in 2026. 8.5 win total juice to the over. I look for that to soar over. So 2026 Dallas Cowboy win total sitting at 8.5. Take the Dallas Cowboys over the 8.5 at minus 130 for 2020. New England Patriots, this is also juiced to the over as a 10. And guys, I don't like it. I just don't think they can navigate their way and have some luck the way they did for wins this year. I believe they're going to go under. 26 New England Patriots, total sitting at 10, minus 140. I like the under that total. New England Patriots 2026 win total sitting at 10. Take the New England Patriots under the 10 win total for this year. Next up, the New Orleans Saints. And if you watched them play late last year as Tyler Shuck took over, I believe they are also going to do big things along with the Atlanta Falcons. Win total sitting at 7.5. With the change at quarterback and Kellen Moore having his second season, getting this offense ready, defense looked pretty good at times, not great, but I really believe they can find a way. The New Orleans Saints sitting at a 7.5 win total, minus 110. Take the New Orleans Saints over that win total of 7.5 for 2026. Look for them to be a sleeper in that division and make some noise as they try to take over. And that's what I meant by that division flipping when you're talking about Atlanta and New Orleans versus Carolina and Tampa Bay. Okay, guys, a couple of the coaching changes in these win totals. Starting with John Harbaugh, the New York Giants are 7.5. John Harbaugh takes over. I do think he can make an immediate impact. John Harbaugh, with this 7.5 win total, a team that's got some pieces, a team that's got a quarterback, decent running game, pretty good defense. Look for John Harbaugh to get them on the winning side and get them to a winning season this year. Giants win total sitting at 7.5. Take the New York Giants over 7.5 at plus 110 this year in 2026. Joe Brady takes over with the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, this could or could not be a relationship that may or may not work. Total sits at 10.5. I don't like it. I think the Bills have done all they're going to be able to do for the last 4 or 5 years. I think they take a step back this season, and I think that you're going to see maybe the Jets or Miami chase them as they try to win that division, and even the Patriots. And I think they'll all beat each other up, kind of like the NFC South did last year, and somebody comes out of there with a 9-win season to win the division. Look for the Bills and Joe Brady. Win total sitting at 10.5. Take the under 10.5 this year in 2026. Kevin Stefanski and the Atlanta Falcons. Kevin Stefanski takes over, brings in what I think is pretty good offensive mind. I think they'll get the offense clicking at a little better pace. Tons of weapons all over the field. Defense looked good last year. Look for Kevin Stefanski to get this offense rolling. Atlanta, total sitting at 7.5, plus 110. Kevin Stefanski and the Atlanta Falcons take the over 7.5 this year in 2026. Cleveland and Todd Monken, total sitting at 6.5. We know what kind of defense Cleveland has. I think Todd Monken can get a little structure for the offense this year. Total sitting at 6.5. I think it's a little low because you've got some teams like Cincinnati who may or may not even show up. A new coach in Baltimore, that may help a little bit. I look for Cleveland to maybe do some things this year that they haven't been able to do in the past. Cleveland and Todd Monken, total sitting at 6.5. Take the over 6.5 on the Cleveland Browns this year in 2026. McCarthy taking over for Pittsburgh. I gave you my thoughts on what I think about McCarthy. I'm not a fan of him, but that's their coach, and we've got to ride with the one they brought. So we're going to ride with McCarthy. Hope he does good things. Hope they've not brought in an 8-8 or 9-8 coach just like we had before, because we've seen this story play out time and time and time again. Hopefully he can come in and bring a little mix to the offense, get the right players in the right spot. Pittsburgh sitting at 8.5 with new McCarthy as the head coach. Take the over 8.5 on the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. I believe defense gets them there and a little bit of offense mixed in. Take the Pittsburgh Steelers and McCarthy to go over the 8.5 this year in 2026. Robert Saleh going to Tennessee, second chance at this head coaching thing after a complete disaster, dumpster fire with the New York Jets. Robert Saleh, who went back to San Francisco, is now coming back to go coach as a head coach for the Tennessee Titans. Total sits at 6.5. I think he's got a ton more weapons, a ton better offense and defense. So I believe that after the learning experience with the New York Jets, I think he'll turn this thing around. I don't look for them to win the division. I don't look for them to win a ton of games, but I do think this number's too low. Tennessee Titans and Robert Saleh, win total sitting at 6.5 for 2026. Take the over 6.5 as I believe they get to the 8-win, 9-win mark this year in 2020. A couple sleepers, guys, before we go. One, I had them last year and they shit the bed, and they do it constantly. And I'm really pissed at the fact that every time I take them, they try to do something stupid to just ruin their season. And it seems like they do it all the time, even when McCarthy was there, and now we have him as our head coach. But I'm going to do it again because I really believe they have the weapons to pull this off. I don't think Philly is what they should be. I definitely don't think Washington is going to be any better. I don't think the Giants are going to win more than 8-9 ball games. So, guys, I'm taking Dallas over their win total. I'm also betting Dallas to win the NFC North. Right now, that is juiced a little, but I believe that the Dallas Cowboys finally get out of their own way, finally find a way to do this. Take the Dallas Cowboys to win the NFC North this year in 2026, which brings up another division that I want to talk about. And I mentioned the flip earlier. I believe that Kevin Stefanski will go down to Atlanta and get a completely different team this year in 2026 compared to how they've been the last few years. Kirk Cousins is gone. They've got their guy. Penix is the man. They got weapons everywhere. I think he can reel him in and turn him in to a quarterback that can get the job done and make some better decisions. Stefanski does bring an offensive mind, so I think it will help Atlanta. The defense has been pretty good. Atlanta in the NFC South, the team they're going to have to compete with is Tyler Shuck and the New Orleans Saints. I think Tampa takes a step back. I believe Carolina can win 8 games, but I don't think they can win the division. 6, NFC South, take the Atlanta Falcons to win that division. That is my sleeper in the NFC South, and I really believe that the New Orleans Saints will bring up second place in that division. Guys, that's a little bit of our NFL talk. We got more coming over the next few weeks. I just wanted to get on here and give you a few things before those numbers start to rise. We like to hit those numbers as quick as possible. We like to get on board as quick as possible so we don't miss the right number, because if they creep up to an 8 versus a 7.5 or a 9 versus an 8.5, and we're taking an over, we don't want to push. We want to win. So we want to get these numbers in as quick as we can. But that's our plays so far in the NFL coming up for 2026. So you can lock those in. Again, guys, even though we gave them all out, you don't have to bet them all. You can pick and choose what you want to do. You can bet them all if you wish. And guys, we're not putting any kind of rating on these at all. It's more or less just some future monies, maybe a half a unit, a quarter unit on each play that you choose to play. But guys, we'll be having a play on every one of them. Those are the ones we like so far. We may have some more coming up in the near future, which brings us to the point of the betting and the way we rate or do these things. All of these futures or Super Bowl bets, things like that, we treat them as a half a unit, maybe a quarter unit, just more or less to have some fun. These bets right here for futures, sometimes we'll pick out something and throw a little extra money on it. We don't rate them. We just put them out there. We will rate the games during the season. For those of you just tuning in on how we bet, how we rate our games, for 2026, we're going to rate our games. Last year, we went from a 1 unit to a 5 unit as our max play. This year, we'll go from a 1 unit to a 10 unit, which will be our max play. We feel like we missed the boat on making some money last year on some of those games. So, guys, that's what we plan to do this year, rating these games up to a 10-unit play, whether that be college, NFL, or that dog of the week. But, guys, we look forward to it. We're going to talk a little bit more about how we do that, getting that bankroll ready, doing those things to be prepared, not going overboard, not chasing, not betting too much, making sure we're using our bankroll wisely, making sure we're betting these games wisely, because we don't want to just dive in and start throwing the money around and giving it away. We were plus 160 units last year. Guys, we want to touch that 200 mark and hopefully be plus 200 this year. Stay tuned. We'll talk a little bit more about how we rate, what we look at, what we're seeing in a game that might make us dive in at a 3 unit, what makes us think a game is worth 10 units. We will go over that with everybody. For those that have already been listening, you've heard me say it before about how we rate and how we bet. Those who are just tuning in, make sure you smash that follow button. Get over to TikTok, Facebook, X, Instagram. Get over to YouTube, subscribe so you can see our videos. Get over to the podcast platform. It's out there every time our podcast broadcast. It's over on the podcast platform. You can listen to it. So, guys, just stay tuned for all that information coming up shortly. Again, we just want to say thank you to all of the people who got on board last year, and hopefully you continue to listen. We want to thank all of you who are going to get on board this year. If you're just stopping by, again, you can follow us everywhere. Smash those like buttons. Smash those follow buttons. Let's grow this podcast and continue to take that train to the station and cash these tickets. Guys, that is a wrap for today's show. And remember, always bet smart and bet like a madman.